Hello and welcome. I'm here today to show you a little preview of the new version of StepMap. As some of you might know, we've been working on the new version for roughly a year, maybe a year and a half now, and sometimes maps seem to be a very simple thing, but actually they're not. There's a lot of development work going on in the background that you might not see, and I was thinking I'll use this opportunity today to show you what the new version will look like. So please bear in mind, I'm not a professional speaker, I don't have a script, so if this presentation is not 100% smooth, please forgive me. I'm also not going to go into detail with each and every feature and functionality. This video is meant to show you a brief overview of the new version. So once you're in the new editor, so to speak, you have several options. Let me just close this one here. So you see on the left hand side it says Basic Map Features and Settings. That's how the name says, where you can change general settings, like for example the color of the water, the land, if you want to show borders and so on. So it's basically everything that has to do with the map, but not anything that you can draw or add to the map on top. All that would be done with this little navigation bar here, where you can add a little icon for a location, for example a city or anything else that you want to add. You can colorize regions, meaning you can click on a certain country or region and then assign a color. You can add text, so basically you write text on the map, headlines or map legends or map keys or, well, a label for a country and so on. You can add symbols, you can draw lines, you can draw freehand, and you can draw several shapes. You can also undo the last setting, so this is a feature that was requested by many users in the past. Basically, if you made a mistake, you're not happy with anything you did on the map, you can use this feature, the undo feature, and then it brings you back to the step before. So let's start with the one up here, so the Basic Map Features and Settings. It's opening up a new menu, and in that menu you'll see Formats, Styles, Country, Rivers and Waterways, Borderlines, and an Overview Map. So once again, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but the formats, as the name says, that lets you decide if you want to edit in full screen mode. And if you see in the background now, you see the map is a full screen, but I could also choose 1 by 1, 16 by 9, and so on. So this is one of the biggest differences to the old version. The new version allows you to edit the map in a full screen mode, hopefully giving you more flexibility in creating your customized map. You can then choose different styles. So the style that you see now in the background is what we call the flat or the basic style. You could also choose, for example, topography. What that means is, let me just save this. The map will reload with the new style. So the zoom level doesn't change. Obviously you can change that later. But what changes is the general style of the map. So instead of having a flat map, at the moment you'll see mountains, valleys, green areas, and so on and so on. So basically a topography style map. We also offer regional maps where you can zoom in really closely, for example onto a city, and even closer up where you can see buildings and streets and little parks and so on. So depending on the style of map that you want to create, you choose between these top 3 general themes or the regional themes down here. Countries, like the label again says it, you can change the color of the landmass altogether. So at the moment this feature is turned off, but if I turn it on, and then let's say I choose green with the opacity 100, and then save and close, you will see that the map will reload, and then all the landmass is green. Let's go back into that menu. I can do the same with rivers and waterways. So for example, I could say I want the lakes and the rivers and the oceans to have different colors. Borderlines. At the moment you see the country borders, see in the background, let's say between the United States and Canada, there's a black country border. So again, I could say I want that border to be red, and I save and close this. So what should happen is that the map will reload, and as you can see now, all the country borders are red. Let's go back in. There's an overview map that you can use. At the moment that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It makes more sense when you zoomed in closer. I'll show you in a second. So what I do now is I'm going to zoom in here into the European region. So what I'm doing right now is I'm holding down my shift key and dragging the mouse along the map, and then I let go. This is one way you can zoom. Obviously you can also move it around the way you want to freehand, or you can zoom in and out by using this little zoom bar here to the right. So one more time, I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer, let's say to the region where we have the United Kingdom, a little bit of France and Germany. So this is what we're looking at right now. And if we're coming back to this overview map feature, at the moment it's off, but I'm going to turn it on And as you can see now in the top left corner, you see basically a map within the map. And this map shows you a little bit more in an overview style, so to speak, where the main or the basic map is. So I'm looking at Germany, France and the UK, and as you can see in the overview map, it's highlighted there. Let me just show you a few more features. You can obviously make this overview map round if you want to. Let me just close this for a second. And also, I'm going ahead of myself here, or getting ahead of myself. I can edit this element. So anything that's on the map you can edit by clicking this feature here, edit element. So now I could even zoom in closer if I wanted here. Right, so right now I have a nice overview map in the top left corner with the European continent and then highlighted the region that I'm actually looking at. I can also move this around. I can hold down the mouse and move it over here, for example, or down here, wherever I want it. So for now I'm going to leave it here. That's basically what you do in the basic map features and settings. So once again, it's formats, styles, countries, rivers and waterways, borderlines, and the overview map. So hopefully that gave you a good idea of what can be done. Other features, for example, I can colorize a certain region. So I click this feature and I click on Germany, and then a new menu will open, and from this menu I can choose either Germany as a whole country, Saxony-Anhalt, which is the state or region, and then even lower, down to the zip code. So postal code 38835 is a zip code within Germany, so I could colorize or color in that one, or for this purpose I'm going to choose a color for all of Germany, and again I'm going to say save and close, so the map will reload, and now Germany is red. Let me add a place, so I'm going to click this symbol here, then I click anywhere in the map. It doesn't matter where you click, so this is something you're probably familiar with from the old StepMap or current StepMap version. If you want to add a location, you click anywhere you want, and then let's say we call this location Berlin, German capital. You have a feature here where it says location position, and in this case Berlin is already pre-selected because it's your title too. So I'm going to choose Berlin, Germany, and then I say, as you can see, this already moved now. So if I move this menu over here, actually to the left, you see that Berlin is already where it should be in terms of the geographical correctness. I can repeat this. For example, I could say, well, I'm going to add another one, and I'm going to call this one London. I don't want the text to be to the right of the symbol, but maybe to the top. And once again, location position, London, Great Britain. I'm going to confirm that, save and close, and now you see London is where it should be, here, and Berlin is where it should be, over here. Rinse and repeat as many times as you like, obviously. You can add a text. We're not going to do that right now, otherwise the video gets a bit too long. But basically you can type any text on the map, like a headline or country label if you wanted. You can add a symbol, or many symbols obviously. So if you click on that, a new menu will open, and from that you can choose different categories. For example, travel, news, flags, traffic, and so on. You can also upload your own. So if among these hundreds of icons that we offer you don't find one that suits your needs, you can simply drag and drop an SVG file here and then position that on the map. For this purpose I'm just going to add the plane symbol, so I'm going to click on it, and then it appears in the middle of the map. From there, once again, I can hold it and move it where I want it. Obviously I can also scale it, right, so I can make it bigger or smaller. I could also, if I wanted to, by clicking this button here, the rotate one, I can change the rotation angle, and you see this little pen icon up here where it says edit. This is where I can change the color and other settings. So anything on the map, let's say we want this plane to be purple, save and close, and then we want it to be in the middle of the UK, there we go. So once again, anything that's on the map, the overview map, your icons, your cities, locations, text, and so on, anything you can edit by simply clicking the feature up here where it says edit element, and then you can move it around, rotate it. Obviously you can also delete it, which I'll do right now. For example, this plane I don't want here, so I click on the little bin icon here, and then it's gone. Another feature I wanted to show you is the lock map area feature. So basically what I can do is, while I edit this map, I can move it around, obviously, right? Left, right, up, down. I can zoom in closer if I want to, and so on and so on. However, if I click this feature down here where it says lock map area, I can't move the map anymore. So I can't do it by accident. You see the scroll bar, which is normally here to the right, is now disabled and it's disappeared. And I also can't move in the map. So this basically freezes the map in a certain location. I can still add stuff to the map, I can change the style and so on, but I can't move it around anymore. Obviously you can also unlock the map area again if you want to move it around. But let's say you're happy with the area you're looking at, simply lock it, then work on it and add anything to it that you want. Alright, so let's just say this is the map that you're happy with. You want to download this map. You can do that obviously. You click here where it says Save Map. It lets you add a title, a description, a region, in this case a continent, but you could say, well, Europe for example. And then within Europe you could say, well, this is Central Europe or Northwest Europe, and so on and so on. You can assign a work status. So if you create a map today and you don't finish it, you can say this is a work in progress, or a map in progress, so to speak. Or you could say, well, it's already exported. Just depending on basically what you do with the map or what you plan with the map, you can edit it at a later stage. You can download it in high resolution, a JPEG or as an SVG file. You can print it, you can add it to your website through an HTML embed code. So it's quite complex and it gives you a lot of freedom in terms of what you can do with the map in the end. There's one more thing I wanted to show you. Let me just zoom out really far. 1 second. So if you remember from the previous version of StepMap, there was a problem that it was really hard to draw a route, let's say from the east coast of Australia over to the west coast of the United States. Let me just zoom out a little bit more to make that clearer. Because basically the old version of StepMap was centered around Europe. So to the west you would have had the United States, to the east you would have Asia, and the map basically stopped where I'm moving my mouse right now. But now, because you can move the map freely left, right, up, down, and zoom in anywhere you like, you can now draw a line or route from Australia up to the United States or to South America. So yeah, this was actually a longer video than I initially planned. There's a lot more to it. There are more features coming. We're still in the final steps of finishing it, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks this will be available to you, and hopefully you will like the changes. Everything should be simpler and at the same time more powerful. Thank you for your time.